Well, hey, the camera's like right here on me.
What do you want? Is it be like this all day long?
Can they see me? I got a pole in the middle of the...
You're good, because you're getting from here.
Okay.
And the thing is, you got a face for radio, so...
What?
The thing is, you kind of got a face for radio.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, hide behind the microphone.
Thanks for having me. Yeah, you're right.
We live?
Yeah.
What's up, everybody?
Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
Hey.
FPN Outdoors live here on the internet. It's about to go live on the radio. Getting all of our ducks in a row. What camera's on me? Where am I at? What's my name?
Well, wait
What's
here.
my address? What's that zip
We're
code?
in Calfield.
What's that social security number?
On here. Why am I
Hey.
not seeing it on here?
What's your digits?
So since when did the city
Did we
like
check the
Largo
live
get
stream
formed?
thing to make sure that it was going to
When did a city like Largo get
Never
a
mind.
farm system out
I
here?
got it.
I don't know.
Does that give
we're
these country boys a way of
I was like, when we pulled up the first day, I was like,
yeah.
what?
That's what I said.
It's definitely.
Good morning, Manuel.
What's up, Manuel? How's it going, buddy?
Step down in the wake of
The loyal guy. First one in.
I know, right?
Manuel.
Manuel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Manuel, we got Bobby Ron in here today.
Bobby Ron.
Bobby Ron.
Hey, make sure you got your ringer down your phone.
It's on silent. I think I've done this once or twice.
James
before.
has kept going off last week. I'm like, will you shut that dang thing off? I can barely hear him.
And you and I are sharing.
I'm gonna worry what I do.
Unplug yours from her.
Friday night, the NBA featured a big win and a huge loss for the Pelicans, who beat the Rockets 115 to 113. But DeMarcus Cousins suffered a torn Achilles.
You want to slide those baits over here so it's... Oh.
Nah, that's fine. I mean, unless you want them handy for you to grab a hold of.
Just give me a color. Just give me one of each color so you guys got them too. So that way when we talk.
Is that better?
Still the same. That's fine. That's fine. I'll be alright.
Oh, jeez. I'm on a short leash here now.
It really didn't make any difference if you want to put it back to last night.
I fought hard, typical, just me going out there and fighting for whatever I can get. And it felt good. And I knew I needed to get to probably 200 par to be safe. Just
You'll know.
Think about that there's what?
Because you'll hear your sexy voice on the thing there.
It's crazy.
Tiger is 1 under, 10 shots behind leaders.
Fishing so hard you might need a helmet.
Former NFL running back Joe McKnight was found guilty of manslaughter. Ron Gaston now face up to 40 years in prison. I'm Jeff Biggs. This is NBC Sports Radio.
This is probably us coming in now. There it is.
FPN Outdoors. Fishing so hard, you might need a helmet.
Boom, and just like that, it's another FPN Outdoors. What's up, everybody? Jay Smith here. I'm sitting in with the bearded one.
Good morning, everybody.
Paul Fleming.
Good morning.
Buddy, I am excited about today.
Yeah, buddy.
I'm super stoked.
It ain't every day we got the flats boat hooked up
I
to the
know,
truck.
we got the
Sitting out in the
flats boat
parking
out
lot.
front.
Yep, ready to go.
Waiting to go. We got a good show on the track here. We got Bobby Carroll sitting in with us today.
How's everybody doing tonight?
What's up, buddy? Bobby
Today,
Carroll
I should
from
say.
the Armed Anglers. You guys know him, you love him, or affectionately known as Bobby Ron.
Bobby Ron.
Yep.
So I'm pretty pumped. We're gonna finally get out and go do some fishing today. The weather's gonna be awesome. I mean, it looks
and
nice.
I'm
out.
going to tell you, you know what the best part of today is? Is that 90% of the boaters are going to be in Tampa.
Yeah.
I know.
They're all going to be in Hillsborough
I know.
County for the
The
Gasparilla.
one day I can't go.
I'm telling you. And you know, and the nice thing is they're all launching their boats right now.
Yeah.
So the boat ramps are going to be empty, and we're going to be ready to go. It's going to be wonderful. Of course, I will tell you, I got to bring this in because last week, after we got out of our show Sunday, I went and ran a 40-foot Intrepid for work, and
Show off.
Must be nice.
boating. All I got to say is boating etiquette. Come on now, boating etiquette, boat ramp etiquette.
What's that?
Exactly. I pulled in. I got all the way up in the staging area, pulled all my straps out. I'm just getting ready to put my boat in the water, and this guy pulls up with like a 32-foot Donzi, pulls right in front of me, goes right down the middle of the 2 ramps.
So now it's one
Now
ramp.
it's one ramp, and he gets out. He's got to unstrap it. He's got to take the stuff out of his truck. He's got to load it. So
Oh, he couldn't do that before.
well, he couldn't do it in the staging area like I was.
Yeah,
you know.
that's too
So
much.
I got aggravated, and being being an employee of Intrepid and everybody knowing that we go to that ramp, I held my tongue, and I pulled forward and I start going around his truck, backing up, and as I'm going into the ramp next to him, I see some old man running, waving his hands in the air, and as I
Like
stop,
you just don't care. What? Sorry.
As-
Throw your
I
hands
couldn't
in
help
the
it.
as I get out of my truck and go look, he has got his minivan in the ramp with his pontoon boat sideways.
Ooh.
So you can't get anything out, and it's taking him forever. So I pull up, and finally I get the boat in the water and everything else.
He was probably a captain.
But I'm going to tell you, it could have been. I will tell you, the guy in the Donzi totally came back and redeemed himself in the afternoon. He happened to be there at the ramp when I got back. I pulled my boat out of the water and I was strapping it down. He come walking up to me and he goes, "Hey man, listen, I'm sorry about before." He says, "I thought you were pulling out. I didn't realize that you were going in." And he actually came up and apologized. So
That's
there is-
rare.
That's
a rare
There's
one.
an irregularity right there. Somebody actually came in and took.
It's gotten really bad.
It has, and it's just you look at all these videos on Facebook where you got these guys that are rolling up on a boat that's anchored, and you could practically spit and hit the boat. It's crazy.
Well, we had a trip. I had a trip last week, and I was in a certain area fishing very few potholes and stuff like that, and I literally had a boat come in full blown, and they set up 10 yards away from me, and then as I'm hooking fish, they're like, "What are you guys using for bait? What are you catching them on? What pound leader do you have?"
What's your social
Yeah.
security number?
And
What's
then-
your phone
Hey,
number?
but wait, then he goes, "Hey, where else is good around here?" I'm like, "I don't know, you gonna follow me?"
Yeah,
And
right.
he's like, "Oh, do you mind?"
Do you mind?
And the clients look at me and they're like, "Is this guy serious?"
Unfortunately, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, he
Yes,
is.
he was.
serious.
Let alone it was in an offshore boat trying to fish 2 feet of water. How he got in this area, I have no idea. I mean,
You know what? I'm gonna tell you,
You should have went the sandbar route and then.
We've actually had the 30-foot Intrepid. We've actually used our gaff as a pole and push pulled through the flats
Yeah.
trying to catch mullet.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
He's that guy.
If you-
When you can't get offshore to go get
You
get bait.
just spent an hour trying to kayak back to a nice little area. Hey,
Bigfoot
whoa.
Intrepid comes rolling up on you. Size matters.
Twin 250s just rolling through the flats.
Insane. Wow, I finally have headphones now.
Nice.
That
You
scared
know-
me.
you know-
I went from having no headphones and it just turned on all of a sudden.
For all of our listeners out there, Jason has been
I have a curse.
plagued by
It's a
bad
curse.
headphones for a year. It
Man.
doesn't matter where we're at.
We'll switch them and be like, "Oh, it's fixed." And it'll start the show. Boom, no headphones.
He's trying to cut you out of the show slowly but surely.
Oh man.
Man. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to today. You know, talking about Gasparilla, I'm sure it's a fun time.
It
And
is. It's fun, but it's nerve
I
wracking.
really hope everybody has some courtesy out there today. Take it easy. It's gonna be a little breezy,
Yeah.
and just be patient. There's guys out there that haven't been running boats as long as you.
Yeah, and for those of you who may be listening that are on their way over to Gasparilla or launching their boats, actually in a couple of minutes we've got Deputy Michael Wright from the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office. He's going to come on, kind of give you an idea what to expect, and kind of go over what you need to have on your boat for the day.
You also got to remember too, it's not you; it's always the other boat you have to worry about.
Exactly.
So
Keep your head on the swivel.
Yep. If you're worrying about yourself, you're not going to be paying attention. Just worry about the other boats, and your boat will be okay.
For sure.
Exactly. Well, I'm definitely looking forward to it. You brought in. We were talking this morning as we're coming here. We're like, we're probably gonna have to stop, grab some baits, and then Paul's like, "No, I got some baits," and he goes, "Bobby's coming today too." I'm like, "Oh yeah, Bobby's gonna bring all kinds of good stuff."
I
man.
bring my 50-pound tackle bag. I'm like, "Here, throw this, throw that."
He did too. He has every color. I mean, these things are
Christmas
sweet.
in January.
Yeah.
Can we talk about these lures?
Yeah. You ready to talk about them right now?
Yeah, well, what the
let's
heck,
talk
man? We might
about
as well talk about it a little bit. So we're gonna do some inshore fishing today. I personally, I'm not gonna target any snook, even though I think the snook in our area did just fine. I know north of here had some problems, some fish kills, but gonna go after redfish, maybe some fly north for lucky. It's a little cold.
Yep.
And then some trout is what I'm hoping
It's,
for.
I mean, it's been very productive. Trout has been insane right now. Last week's trip, we caught 40 plus trout, all artificial, no live bait needed. Caught a couple redfish and artificials. Now that was up in my area, so are you still having problems?
Yeah, you know, it's just go ahead. Go ahead. Please continue. Don't mind my headphones.
I'm not
struggle.
gonna worry. So what I've been throwing, I mean, everybody remembers when I was on the show last, just after the Florida Pro, I was talking about the slick, and I said that was like my go-to bait for low water and stuff like that. Well, I decided today to bring in some different colors of the slick because people weren't too sure on exactly what it looked like. So
it's a weird looking lure. It's
yes,
different.
It,
for sure
it
it's
is,
different.
It is. So here,
like a mouse with no legs.
Here is the slick. Is that the camera I'm at? Is that the one we need? Which one we need?
Yeah, he's got you. He's got you.
So what it is, it's almost like a Paul Brown lure, okay?
Real quick, by the way, folks, we're talking about cameras and stuff. If you're sitting in your car, there's no camera for you. Okay. But if you would like, you can go to our Facebook page, FPN Outdoors, or you can go to fpnoutdoors.com. You can see everything live, and you can also ask questions in the comments. We have Squatch on the on the lookout.
If you can't watch it, I will try and detail this lure so you get an image in your head.
There you go. It is radio.
All right, so Paul Brown, you know, they have this treble hook hanging out at the bottom, and it always catches weeds in the flats. So what Joey Landernow did, he is the creator of the slick. What he did was he rigged up something kind of similar to it, but he made it weedless, as you guys can see.
Nice.
So what it's got now, it's got a full-blown deep slot, not only just for your hook, but you can throw your favorite bait set in there.
I got it.
You got it. So it's got a deep slot for your hook or your bait sense, right? So what this bait does, it acts like a slow falling jerk bait, if that makes sense. Like you see your standard DOA jerk baits, the 4.5 to 5 inches and stuff like that, and they're real erratic. This is a slower twitch, so because of it having a bulkier body.
Right.
So what it does, it kind of gives it like an up, a down, a side to side, and it will actually jump out of the water like a finger mullet does at some point, depending on how you
it works well. It works well.
So this is one of my favorite baits, no matter what time of year it is. It doesn't matter if it's dead of winter, middle of summer. These fish crush it. And the cool thing about him is that he has such unique colors. And what Joey did, we were in conversation back and forth. I said, hey, can you get me something that looks like this color or something like this? Joey's like, no problem. He's like, whatever you need for the Tampa Bay, Pinellas, Pasco, Hernando area, he created. Well, then he sends me a custom color like this. This is called a Copper Crush Chartreuse Tail.
Some of my favorite colors, by the way.
Yes.
I love those. Those are my favorite go-tos.
This bait is a redfish killing machine. Okay, we threw this in the Florida Pro, 43 pounds worth of fish just on this. So I was talking to Joey after that Florida Pro, and he's like, I gotta come fish with you, this and that. Well, then he comes to me with, what colors do you need? What colors do you want? So then we started talking about colors, this and that. I said, look, we need something that'll really explode Tampa Bay area. So he came out with a favorite color I like to throw, a black and gold. Everything loves black and gold. And this thing is like a diamond in the water. I mean, it beads off with all the glitter and stuff in it. It really reflects, and Snook goes
kind of
crazy.
like a bedazzled lure in a way.
Yeah,
almost.
you know. Well, hey, I mean, humans like jewelry, so why not fish? You know,
shiny. I likes it.
But it's a very simple lure, but it's very effective and it's very easy to work. You don't even have to have a skill, because you know how like a top water you have to have a walk the dog.
Don't say that. Don't let everybody know that.
Well, no, you know what I mean.
You can just slighten your value a little bit there.
Yeah, but yeah, it's all right. Hey, I'm an average angler.
Right, there you go.
Right? So, I mean, you can have an inconsistent twitch. This bait will do the work for you. And then, on top of that, I was talking to Joey, and we have a signature series kind of deal. It is like it's a pale gold with a yellow gold flake in it. It is called the BC Moneymaker. This was designed for me. This actual color just for me. And Joey came to see if it worked with me on the trip, and we crushed some
surprise,
fish.
surprise! It works.
Yeah, it works.
I like that pink one over there. You were saying that's good for the
trout.
trout.
That one right there, I've got on my rod from last time you and I fished.
Mm-hmm.
Threw it a couple times in my pond back behind my house.
Yeah.
It works for bass too.
Oh, does it?
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. There you go. So you got 2-for-1 bait, salt and fresh. Now, the big trout are crushing these as well too. So Joey actually created this bait to target gator trout because he fishes like the Crystal River area and stuff like that. And for some odd reason, he found out that this color right here, this combo, it's a pink, it's a pearl pink, he calls it, with a chartreuse tail.
Yeah.
This bait is a trout killer.
I've had a lot of luck with those colors with trout over the
A
years.
trout killer. And he was telling me, like, I got the history, because I'm never a big trout fisherman. Like, I always target the reds. He was telling me the trout, the bigger trout you want, I mean, bigger the bait, technically. But,
Sure.
But he said it doesn't matter trout if it's a 15 or 24. They are crushing the slick.
Well, that's the thing about those trout, though, too. I mean, a lot of people, kind of brush over the trout. I like fishing for trout personally, but man, they come up and they'll eat a bait that's almost as big as them sometimes.
Yes,
man,
yes.
I've had some pinfish that were easily half the size of a trout, and they just come up and smash it.
And and that's the other thing I was going to tell you. It's a durable bait. I mean, I've thrown it in Tampa Bay. Knock on wood. No puffer really hit it. No
Yeah,
puffer.
the destroyer of lures.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if it's just because it's a bigger bait or what, but so he's got a range of colors, and I think you guys said you were going to have him call in, correct?
We're getting him on the phone right now.
Getting lined up.
Yeah, Deputy Wright, he's right in the middle of Gasparilla, so I'm
Okay.
sure he couldn't answer his phone.
And another thing that Joey's coming out with, it's coming soon. I was a prototype guy for it to try it out. This is called the Slick, okay? This is the standard, I think it's 4.5 or 5 inch bait, big body. Joey will soon be coming out with the little Slick, okay? The difference in these is obviously smaller in size.
In the action, it looks like.
Yes,
you're
the
gonna have.
action. This is a faster, dartier kind of bait, okay? Slimmer, stuff like that. But the cool thing about it is it can also be rigged on a jig head, okay? So it gives a true up and down bounce. The tail is very, very flexible. It gives, so in the current, it'll still be
Just
satisfying.
so if it's just sticking up out of the
Yep,
grass
so
a little bit.
yep, I'm not
yep.
even moving it. It's just doing its thing.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a hot bait coming out. So if you guys are looking for it,
We got both. Okay.
if you guys are looking for some new baits, you got to go on the slicklure.com and
Okay, so real quick, so we're talking about that pink. You like that for the trout?
big trout. Yep.
Now, as far as colors go, and say you work in one color, you're not finding a lot of success. According to water clarity and all that, how do you work your color
Okay,
changes?
I know what you're saying. Like, to be honest, my favorite colors, no matter what the watercolor is something with gold in it. Okay, because it gives a good reflection, not too much. So this would be like a black, the black and gold or the BC Moneymaker.
Mm-hmm.
These two colors are probably my go-to colors. Now, if it's a clearer water, I'm gonna throw the copper with the chartreuse tail. I mean, that has been getting blown up. So, I mean, you have a wide variety of baits that he's got. I mean, if you go on his site, www.theslicklure.com, he has all these colors. Now, he doesn't have the BC Moneymaker on there yet because it was a prototype color.
Yeah.
We've been working with some colors.
Coming soon.
Yeah, but I mean, if you go on there and you message him and ask him for the color, I'm sure he can do something for you.
Yeah.
But the guy has covered all the bases, and Snook goes nuts over him.
Yeah, we're going to get him on the phone on the back half of the break. We've got Deputy Michael Wright on the phone right now.
We got him?
Yep, he's here. Good morning, Mike.
I'm here, Paul.
Hey, good morning.
Paul, how are you this morning?
Wonderful. How's the action out there? Is it starting to get busy?
It's starting to get crazy already.
Nice. So, what advice can you give our listeners that may be heading out in their boats right now, headed towards Gasparilla? The invasion, I believe, starts at 11 o'clock, correct?
It does. That's what time the pirate ship will be pulling away from the pier over at Ballast Point.
So what can they expect when they get there?
They're going to expect probably, we're anticipating maybe 1,500 to 2,500 boats today, ranging in size from, 19 and 20-foot boats all the way up to 100-foot motor yachts, and then some larger commercial vessels. So there's going to be a ton of boats, and we're all going to be funneling into the downtown Tampa area, so it's going to get really crowded really quick.
Yeah.
So the best advice we can give people is just, be courteous, be mindful, be cognizant and aware of your surroundings. And we're encouraging anybody, all the boat captains, that they need to be responsible for everybody on their boat. Don't be hanging off the sides. Make sure your kids are in life vests and be responsible, but most of all, have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great point. You know, a lot of people don't realize that driving down the waterway, whether you're in the intercoastal or the open bay, having your legs dangling off the front is definitely not permitted. It's definitely not safe for sure.
No, this is one of those events that, unfortunately, if somebody ends up in the water, you've got, 1,000 boats behind you pushing in. It's hard to get people to stop. And so, definitely want to stay aboard your vessel today.
Yeah, that's definitely a recipe for disaster there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, you guys aren't
here too.
Yeah, you guys aren't the only agency. This Gasparilla draws multiple different agencies, correct?
It does. We have agencies from all over the state. We have agencies from the East Coast, from down South Florida, and all the way up around St. Augustine. Bring law enforcement from everywhere.
All right. So if everybody listening is on their way out to Gasparilla, you are surrounded. Make sure you're doing the right thing. That's all I can say.
Yeah. That doesn't even include the amount of Coast Guard vessels and FWC vessels. It's a large contingency out here, and also I just tell people to be responsible. No drunk boating, because they will be looking for BUIs today. So
yeah, and that's a good point.
Cognizant.
Yeah, and there's a lot of alcohol that goes on in that particular invasion. So if you're captaining the boat, you're the responsible one. Be sure that you're not drinking.
Yes, definitely.
Now,
but like I said, most of all, have fun.
Yeah, and that's the big thing. Everybody want to have fun, and that's one of the main reasons why you guys throughout the year are doing boating safety checks and stuff like that, to make sure that these boaters are safe and that they have all their correct equipment so that they can actually have fun while they're out on the water.
Exactly.
Now, is there, Mike? This is Bobby Carroll. Is there a spot that's safer than other spots to anchor your boat? Because I've seen some, coves and stuff that just get clustered, and I mean, you got boats bumping into each other. Is there one spot that you think would be safer for, like, if a family's coming by boat, that they can maybe anchor off?
If you're in a smaller boat, I would definitely advise, instead of getting into the flotilla, to go ahead and go down the channel and find your spot now, because obviously the wake's coming off of these boats. It gets a little choppy out there, gets a little crazy for the small vessels. But if you've got a family and you want to get a spot, I'd head down, in between like Marjorie Park, down towards the hospital, that whole area, anchor up along the shoreline, just stay out at the center of the channel so we can get through. But those are good spots to be in. They're not quite as chaotic as when you get into the basin down by the hospital and by the Platte Street Bridge.
Good stuff. Good info.
Yeah, and the one thing I wanted to let our listeners know too, that Mike, Deputy Wright, is with the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office, and the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office actually plays a much bigger role in Tampa Bay than most people think. Most people think that Hillsborough County is just Hillsborough County. The Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office Marine Unit is actually our homeland security for this area. They go how far out do you go out the main shipping channel, Mike?
Out the main shipping channel, we go past Egmont, 13 miles straight offshore to the International Sea Buoy.
Yeah, and they've got a couple really impressive toys. They've got a couple of 40 Intrepids. One is a seaborne boat. Thing's got all kinds of chemical sniffers and everything. It's actually a really impressive boat, for sure.
They definitely have built us and gotten us some really nice equipment. Of course, that's something that we're very thankful to Intrepid for working with us on, and but we have the tools to be able to help people, and that's the other part of our mission. Isn't just the law enforcement; it's the rescue side.
Yeah,
and that's
for sure.
Just another point for today is that if anybody out here gets in trouble, if they have any issues, all they have to do is pick up their VHF. They can get us on channel 16 or call 911, and we'll be there to help them out.
Well, that's great information, Debbie Wright. We really appreciate you calling in, and we know it's pretty busy and chaotic out there. Be safe out there on the water, and we'll chat with you soon.
Appreciate it, Paul. Have a good one. You guys enjoy yourself inside in the warm weather today.
All right, be safe out there.
All right, everybody. That was
What was his name?
Deputy Wright.
Deputy Wright. And like he said there, be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't be crazy.
Yeah, it's, I'll tell you, just in my experience of going over there, we had a boat that was so far up our rear end that if my motor would have stalled, his anchor would have come through the stern of my boat. So, I mean, you get tight, it gets packed in there, so you just have to be very cognizant of what's going on around you and just be safe. I mean, that's the biggest thing.
At least it would make it easy to have a swashbuckling moment, right? Coming aboard!
Walking the plank.
You're walking the plank. All right. Well, Gasparilla will be fun for all you guys. We're going fishing.
Yep.
Hopefully they'll keep all the boats over there.
Yeah, we are going fishing.
I'm just saying, it is just a wedding finning. I mean,
I'll show up naked. I don't care. I can wear a tux in certain areas that only,
I've got some stories about fishing naked that we're gonna have. We're gonna do some storytelling here pretty soon. Some of the shows coming up. Real quick, a shout out to Paul Gage and Reeling Freedom. They're out on their boat right now, and they got us live. You guys out there on the water listening to the FPN Outdoor Show. We appreciate it.
How you doing, Paul?
Yeah, they actually slept on the boat and slip tent out there in Tampa, so they're ready to go. They got their spot.
It was actually pretty nice.
Actually,
that was probably cool.
Yeah, Tom and Trey from Tailgater University are going to be on the boat with them today, and they're going to be doing some Facebook Live stuff during Gasparilla. So
cool.
You guys can definitely log into the Tailgater University Facebook page later this afternoon.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Tom for his kind words on Facebook about me the other day. As far as being a great broadcaster and everything, I appreciate that, Tom.
He did say you were the best.
I know
he did.
I know he did, and he was not under duress at all.
No, he was actually 100% correct. You were really good at the editing stuff.
We're talking about some videos that we did on Facebook. Everybody, just want to remind you, you can watch everything live. Normally, we have all the shows live streamed for the day. The golf show after this, Tailgaters University is on after that from 10 till 12. We usually live stream all of them. Today, we're going fishing instead. But
keep rubbing it in.
You can follow everything. And
hey Bobby, we're going to go fishing.
Okay. Don't worry,
you can comment on everything. Make sure you talk to Squatch. Give him a hard time if you can. He loves it. All right, so we were talking about these lures. Let's go ahead and get back into that. We were talking about how good the pink one is for the trout. We were talking about the different actions and some of them. If you were going out today and you were going to target redfish, what would you start off with today? It's a nice day.
I would use the BC Moneymaker, right? It's a very subtle gold look with a gold
semi-translucent.
Yeah, it's got a clear gold body. I would throw that, and then I honestly, with the water being so clear lately, I would throw the Copper Crush with the chartreuse tail. I mean, this thing has impressed me. I mean, if I had to pick 3 baits to have in my bag, it'd be the BC Moneymaker, the chartreuse and Copper Crush, and then your black and gold. Because the only reason I go with that, you got your dark bait with the glitter, you got your electric bait is what I call them because it's got the tail,
chartreuse, and
then you have a nice light subtle. So you cover all 3 colors of the water.
Well, and that's what's nice about having 2 guys on the boat. See, I've already got the BC Moneymaker on mine, and Jason here is actually, he likes that neon color that.
I don't know what it is. You think it would be counterproductive to have those colors, but they work great.
But you know what's crazy though is I'm figuring out that
it's distracting. That's what it is.
I'm really figuring out that the snook go crazy over anything chartreuse, anything tip chartreuse. The snook, and I'm not talking the baby ones. I'm talking good quality slot size snook.
All right, guys, we're coming up on our break here, right here on Sports Talk Florida on 10:40 a.m. This is FPN Outdoors. We'll be back here in just a minute with Bobby Carroll talking about some inshore fishing today. I gotta get the shirt off of me before I boil.
Boil.
When you're talking, try to talk a little bit more into the mic. You're doing fine, but picking up just a little bit lighter than the others.
You know what you can do? If you slid your chair a little bit further that way and then turn the mic directly at you.
Like that? Perfect. How long is the break?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Why you gotta use the bathroom?
No. I already shit myself.
Easy, you're still online there, brother. Everybody. Bobby made a mess in his pants. Call him Senior Poopy Pants.
You want to send, is it Joey, right? You want to send?
You want me to go ahead and get Joey on?
Yeah, we're going to bring him back right after the break.
Joey, pay attention. He's like, you're still online. Hey, I'm just being me. It's the experience you get on the
No,
floor.
that's what people want anyway. In between stuff.
Paul Gage actually has us on live on his sound system.
That's why I said something.
So, but he's got it cranked up so everybody around him can hear it.
They hear Bobby just. Don't worry, the room does not stink. I was worried about it.
I think he's got it on the radio. This is just the internet stuff.
I know, but this is awesome.
So we got the bald cam on today.
The bald cam?
There you go. There it is. It's shiny.
I need to get you guys some top water culture stuff to wear.
You need to get me some top hair.
You want some of mine?
Too bad I can't.
Yeah, I do. I gotta be jealous of you.
What?
Actually, that's a Logitech. You can zoom in.
Oh, it is like
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I just gotta be jealous of your mullet man bun.
My mullet? It's
Mullet
not a
man
mullet.
bun.
Goes on whenever you guys are ready for it.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you, sir.
He's a cool dude. He's an older guy, but he's a high energy dude. He's a good one.
Remember, he can still hear you.
Yeah,
You're young, bro. Don't worry about it. You got
older
plenty
dude.
of time left.
I don't care. It was behind the scenes, Joey.
How old are you?
I'm 31.
Whippersnapper.
Wow, you look like crap. What happened?
Yeah, I know I do. I know I do. No, I know I do. Son, baby.
And then you got the guy over here with no hair.
That cocaine's a hell of a
I look
drug.
like crop. I look like crop.
Hey, it's warm in here. And I'm still drinking coffee.
Mm-hmm. What's his name again?
Huh?
What's his name again?
Joey Landernow.
Oh, wow.
Landernow. It's spelled funny. Just remember Landernow.
Okay, I'm gonna say we got, and you're gonna say it.
No, it's Joey Landernow.
Joey
Landernow.
Loudermilk.
Landernow.
Alright, come back.
Fishing so hard, you
Might need a helmet. Yeah, get your helmet on.
You know, I'm gonna tell you something. One of these days, I'm gonna actually come in here with a helmet on. We're going fishing today. I should have brought a helmet on.
You should have.
I should have.
All right, so on the phone we have Joey
Landernow.
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 Okay. How you doing, Joey?
Hey, I'm doing great, guys.
Good. We're sitting here looking at all these baits that you made, and Bobby's really happy about these. I'm looking forward to going out and trying these out today.
Well, I appreciate you guys highlighting my little lure there. It's been real productive. Basically, I had an idea of just taking all the hardware out of lures with profiles that I knew produced really big trout and such, and just took all the hardware out and made a weedless jerk bait, and I wanted a big pocket. I had to have a big pocket because of the size of the hook, the size of the lure. It's a 1/2 inch high, and you need an extra wide gap, but you needed a really good sized pocket in there so that hook could slide in and out of there. And that's basically what I came up with. And it's been received. I made a 1 cavity mold for myself. I fished with it for a long time. Started handing out to neighbors. I fish out of Keaton Beach area in Taylor County, and it just kind of grew. I just kind of let it go, and it's pretty popular now.
Yeah, Bobby really likes them a lot. Was there a lot of trial and error for this, or did you luck out and get it on the first try?
I worked with a guy up in Michigan who makes custom lures. We drew it up in CAD. We cut it in pieces. We had about 10 or 12 segments. We went on we discussed it on the phone for hours. I wanted a more pointed nose, but we couldn't do the pointed nose based on the physics of shooting plastic through a small diameter runner. We talked about the slot, how deep the slot, how wide we wanted the belly slot, and that kind of thing. So I wanted basically a very closed belly. If you notice that slot, if you just put it in your hand, you can hardly tell that the slot is there.
Yeah, I didn't know it was there.
I wanted a very round belly because I didn't want it to glide. A lot of fluke lures have an open slot underneath, and it kind of acts as a
a hull kind of thing. I didn't want that. I wanted it round so that it had more of an erratic. When you twitch it, it'll either fall to the left or to the right. It doesn't glide it doesn't glide. It's more herky jerky. And that's what I was looking for. And the other reason why I was making, I was fishing up at Keaton Beach. We're real shallow water, and I was targeting really big gator trout during the wintertime around rocks and stuff. And all the hanging treble hooks, you couldn't fit. I needed to fish the lure really slow in cold water, and the hanging trebles I'd just stay stuck.
Yeah.
So, and the other thing, I came up with this hook, on the top. And the other thing that I want to mention to you guys, the hook comes with, you get 4-tail bag, and you get an owner beast 4-aught extra wide gap swim bait hook.
In the bag.
I don't know of anybody in the market that's providing an owner beast hook with a bag of soft plastic.
They're not. For people, for people out there, it's not
premium.
Cheap.
It's arguably, you can argue one way or the other. Gamakatsu, DMC. There's all kinds of really good hooks in the market, but arguably the owner beast extra wide gap swim bait hook is right there at the top. If not number one, it's right there,
sure.
1A. And I'm adamant about. There's something about buying a $10, $12 lure, and you got to go spend $4 on extra hooks on spare hooks because the hooks they give you are inferior.
Yeah.
So you get a really premium hook, and the reason why I'm so adamant about it is that 4-aught hook. If you notice, it comes right through the back of that hook, and it matches the size. It's just perfect. It matches that hook, that lure perfect. If you want to fish deeper water, say 3, 4, 5, I have some guys in Mobile fishing 18, 20 foot holes in rivers. They're using the beast with a weighted hook, okay? And the beast weight on the hook shank is such that the lure will basically fall horizontal. And then you can twitch it on the fall. Captain Bobby Abiscato and Captain Richard Rutland just won an invitational winter trout classic tournament last weekend in Mobile, exclusively fishing my lure in 6 to 8 feet of water, pearl white chartreuse, and waxed everybody in the tournament.
Nice.
Nice.
On one color, so it can be fished in deep water with the weighted hook as well as shallow water.
It can be fished in freshwater too, because the last time I fished with Bobby, he actually left one of the BC moneymakers on my rod, and I went and fished behind the pond behind my house and caught a couple nice bass.
Yeah, and that's true too. And I want to mention one more way you can rig this lure. And I haven't showed it to Bobby yet, but I've got some guys in. Again, I'm in Keaton Beach, which is north of Steenhatchee in Taylor County. I'm almost up in the elbow up there, but they got some guys in the Crystal River area that use the owner straight eye all-purpose bait hook. It's a 3-aught, and they hook it in the nose area where when you use the hook that I provide, it's more of a jerk thing, but there's no weight on it. It's a small hook, but the action in shallow water it's totally different. It gives it a totally different.
You get the action from the whole lure rather than just the tail area.
Well, the large hook acts as a backbone to it.
Because what you're doing, you're pinning that hook right.
Yeah.
You're taking away the front half of the lure is kind of getting neutralized in action because of where placement of the hook.
And what I'll add something to what Joey's saying. Besides with how it twitches and stuff like that, this bait casts a mile.
It does.
Because it's got weight to it, to where you can throw it, but it does not affect.
Kind of like your topwaters when you cast on a nice topwater lure. It's got that shape and weight to it.
And, I mean, this bait is completely aerodynamic if you look at it.
And that's what you want. You always want that casting.
That was one of the reasons why. One of the objectives in creating this thing for myself was, you guys know that, man. You're in 1.5 feet, 2 foot of water. You're around some rocks during the wintertime. The water's cold. It's super clear. You can't take a trolling motor and go up there 20, 30 feet from those rocks. Those big fish are just going to ease off, and you don't even know they're there. They're going to slide out. So you can back off. You got some little flippy mullets in the rocks and stuff. You can back off and consistently cast this thing 70, 80 feet. 7 foot 3 inch rod, extra fast tip. You can wing it with 10-pound braid. You can wing it. You can back off, and they never know you're there. You stick your power pole, and you can sit there and work on a school, and they never know you. They never know you're there.
It's true
and,
too.
And you can fish it in the rocks. You can almost let it drop to the bottom and just pop it straight up, or what. However, the fish will tell you what the cadence you need to fish it. So,
and there's so many different.
That was one of the main goals of me even coming up with this thing, because I was throwing hanging treble hooks and losing 5 or 6 lures a day in the rocks, and it's like, okay, I know these fish are in here. What I'm going to do? I'm going to go in there and blow everything out, or I'm going to break off. So you break off and then you start all over again, and it's like, come on.
And $60 in lures every trip.
No doubt.
$60 in lures, $60 in gas.
Lures, and I got 2 fish, and I'm like, geez, this is not happening.
I was talking with Bobby here, and he was mentioning that you were custom making colors for different areas. Are you finding that now that you've had these out for a little bit, that certain colors work better in certain areas? Or
yes, most definitely. And not only in certain regions of the Gulf, but certain seasons in the Gulf. Like where I'm at, the hot pink chartreuse, which you guys have, is more of a cold water lure in the Taylor County area, where I just got a text while I was watching you guys down in the Osceola River, slamming trout and redfish on pink chartreuse. He just sent me a text saying, "Hey man, great product. Thanks for the product." He just sent it to me.
And how?
But one of the that's one thing. Like Texas is more. I just have a guy in Texas. If you go to my Pure Flats on Facebook, you can see the guy there. He's got a massive trout he caught on what I call the pink pearl. They like they like a pink, but not a bright pink, more of a pastel pink. And so there's different colors in different regions that are more productive. And once fishermen are by habit. The guy will go fish the same spot every time he goes. He'll use the same stuff, even though the fish are there or not. Well, man, I caught him there 2 weeks ago. Why not? He'll sit there. So they're creatures of habit. We're creatures of habit, and there is a difference. There is no difference. Definitely a difference. And my point about colors is all about contrast. I don't think fish see contrast, and you have that chartreuse tail. Chartreuse is the last color to disappear in a water column.
I didn't know that.
So it will reflect the deepest of all colors is chartreuse.
Good info, right there.
Yeah, that might be why it's one of my favorite colors. Without even knowing it.
And personally, my water is very clear, pretty much 12 months out the year. I personally like translucent. I like translucent lures. That's just my preference.
Different color.
So I like to use clear plastic with glitter, and not go to more of an opaque color where you just have a solid white or something. That's just my personal preference. So I'm using glitter combinations with a solid tail to give me that contrast that I want.
And we went. I mean, when me and you went out, Joey. What did we catch? About 10 redfish, some trout.
Yeah,
some snook.
I did a slam. I did a snook, redfish, and trout. That day, and we caught some really nice snook and some redfish and some trout. So
we were trying out those new colors that you made for me. We tried out the BC Money Maker. We tried out that black and gold.
Right.
We tried out a whole bunch of stuff. So it seems like almost, I don't know if it's just the color or if it's just that great of a bait to where you can put it in front of them because of the action that they're just going to crush it.
Let me, there's all kinds of theories about clear water, bluebird sky, fish a light colored lure, so forth and so on. Last year I was wade fishing out there by my place around some rocks, and I make a holographic holographic turquoise lure. It was just clear with just silver glitter with some holographic, with some turquoise backing to it. And I was catching trout, catching some really, really, really nice fish. And I said, you know what? I'm just going to go straight to the dark mullet color. Just cut off the holographic, went to the black. Caught two 5-pound trout back to back, standing in 10 feet away. So it was the same exact conditions, standing in the same place. Went from a clear to a black, and it didn't matter. So, you know, that I don't know about all that stuff. Just go what you feel, your gut feeling is. You know what I mean? Some days I've caught fish on 5 different colors, you know, in the same water.
Well, hopefully today, Paul and I get to test how many colors we can go with. We're going out today, and we're hopefully gonna just use these baits all day long.
Yeah, Joey. Unfortunately, I can't go the one day that they say, "Hey, bring bring
He's
your
got to go
rods."
get fitted for a tuxedo.
I gotta go get tuxedo penguined up. So what I did, Joey, I gave them a good amount of the colors that we tried because I want them to really work them down here in Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm.
That way we know once, you know, if they're hooking up a fish down here, okay, these are prime colors for Tampa Bay. Because remember how we were talking about, you know, let's region, you know, for each region, maybe we can make a signature color or two. So I gave them some good colors that worked by me, and I figure since Tampa Bay is close, you know, if they work down here, we can really solidify some true colors specifically for this area.
Yeah, for what I'm looking at right now, these are going to work great.
That copper crush chartreuse is starting to be. I'm connecting the dots. I just got a little video on Facebook from my from Captain Justin Collison down in Louisiana. He's just been hammering the redfish on copper chartreuse. And now he's got a little video. 2 guys double hooked up. I put on Facebook last night on copper chartreuse, and he's fishing also. He calls it the brim color, but which is the black with the gold stuff. He's been fishing that as well. But he's been slamming redfish on copper chartreuse in Louisiana water, and that's not, you know, that's a totally different game there than the clear water we fish. So that's kind of one of the go-to lures. Go-to colors.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to getting into these today. We're running low on time here, Joe. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you and take a look at your products and all that stuff?
Go to dslicklure.com.
dslicklure.com.
Yeah, or pureflats.com.
Okay.
And if you got any questions, my phone number and contact info is on there. Just shoot me a line or give me a buzz, and I'd be more willing to help you guys.
All right. Well, we thank you for being on with us today and talking about your lures, and I'm looking forward to testing them out. We'll get back to you and how it works out.
Okay, man. Appreciate it.
All right, everybody. That's Joey. Talk to you later, Bob. All right, that was good. I'm ready to go. I don't know about you guys. I keep looking at the clock. I'm like, man, all this talking about fishing, I'm fired up and ready to go.
I'm just happy we get to go fishing. That's all I'm saying.
It's gonna be nice.
I'm just saying.
I'm hating you guys right now. I've been fishing, freezing my off, and
well, you know you haven't been fishing in a while when you get up in the morning and you're getting your video and your wife looks not.
And something I've been thinking about lately. My friend Hans, Hans works with us here at FPN Outdoors, does camera work for us, and he's been my fishing buddy for a long time. And then stuff that we like to do is kind of challenge ourselves with different things. A lot of times we'll go out wade fishing or out in the canoe, kayaks, whatever, and we try different things and new things. And some of the things I was trying a few years back was I was messing around with just making some homemade lures, just as a challenge, right? So we have something coming up, and I actually want to involve you in this, Bobby. Just your home area, where it's going to be friendly competition. I'm working on some different things behind the scenes to have some prize structure and things like that.
Speaking of unusual baits, my good buddy up there, Captain Will Burback, I'll post his video, share it later on my Facebook. He was down in Puerto Rico helping out with the hurricane and stuff like that. He found a little honey hole loaded with tarpon.
Who doesn't like beef jerky?
Yeah, who
doesn't like Slim Jims?
A little bit of grease on there.
That action.
My back. I still have a bag of my dreadlocks. I want to run some hooks through the dreadlocks as a big eel.
Dreadlocks, come on. Good thing you cut that off.
Exclusives though. Look. So we could take these dreadlocks, right? And you start crushing kingfish and eels and cobia on them. They could be exclusives. High dollar though, because there's very few.
Well, you know, I got the idea of. I've seen some guys in the bass world. I'm looking at some of the lures they got. I'm so jealous. They got baby ducks. They got frogs, lizards, you know,
Bats. They got all kinds of stuff.
Bats, all kinds of. I'm like, man, why don't we have this kind of stuff? I mean, I'm sure it's because
and it's nuts. When I was fishing with my dad in the bass tournaments, when I was first got into fishing, we had a guy in our bass club that was you gave him all of your old plastics and everything else, and he would make these lures. And he was making, it was called a Charlie Snake. And I kid you not, this thing was 12 to 14 inches long. And you're still using your standard hook.
Like your
but the
action's insane on them.
The way you hook it, it actually gives it a little bit of a raised head. And we would throw these across the lily pads or the big thick grass beds, and it would move like a snake. And you would not believe how many big bass would just come trudging out of the grass and just blow up on these things.
Well, those guys that go after the muskies, I think it's muskies. Muskies or pike, one of the two. That Larry Dahlberg guy, he used to have a show. I don't know if he still does or not, but that's where I first started messing with stuff. Was I saw that show, I was like, oh, that's cool, man. I'm not going to go fishing every time with some homemade lures, but it might be a cool thing to challenge yourself or your friends or whatever. Do something.
When I was doing the bass fishing stuff and lily pads, it really seemed like the floating frog was my go-to.
Yeah.
Floating frog was good,
it's just a simple thing.
Well, I was just watching a video on Facebook the other day, and I believe it was trevallies or something. They were coming up on the surface and slurping down birds. Mm-hmm. I did not know that was a thing. I'm like, well, maybe that's something for offshore to try. That'd be cool.
Hooking birds?
Yeah, well, fake ones. We're not going to go out the road.
Sure, right. Where are you going to find a fake bird that looks like that?
The fake seagull that ends up on the front of the boat, Bobby?
Okay. Gotcha. Somehow it falls out the sky.
Yeah, it's crazy how things just launch out of the water and grab them right out of the air.
No birds were injured in this hypothetical situation, folks.
Just kidding.
So, anyways, that's something I really want to do this year, and I think it'd be a lot of fun.
I think after we give them the survival lures, I think we then need to break it out even further and just give them the materials to make their own. And they have the same amount of materials and have to make their own lures.
Well, I want it over the year. I want it to progressively get a little more insane.
I think that would be kind of
fun. To where, like, if you catch a fish on the last month, in December, if you catch a fish on some of the lures we send you, you're the man. That's
no doubt. I got to tell you guys this. So, if you're telling me to make a lure, it ain't going to happen. Because my family, my last name is known for one...
All thumbs?
And no, it's known for one tool, and it's the hammer. I can't fix anything. I can.
Hammer will fix a lot of stuff.
Hammer fixes
everything.
I'm just saying.
I learned from my dad, and I've seen him do some damage with a hammer, and that's about all I can do.
If you can't fix it with a hammer, it's not big enough.
Get a bigger hammer. Hey, real quick, somebody had a question on whether you're using scents with these baits that we were just talking about, the slicks.
100%. Well, that's the other thing Joey didn't mention. So he added that to incorporate, the owner beast hook, okay? But that is also made to put in your favorite bait scent. You can load it up, and it stays in there a long time because, like he said, it is still closed even with the hook. Mm-hmm. So that scent barely trickles out. So you have it, and it lasts like a good hour or 2 hours in there before you can, have to redo it.
That's pretty good. I mean, when you put them on the outside of them, you get a good 10, 12 casts before you got to redo it.
I mean, it's not a plug or nothing. I'm not sponsored by them, but my go-to color is Procure. My go-to scent is Procure shrimp. Yeah. I use the shrimp on this a lot. So
it works.
I use that all the time. No plug either. We're not sponsored either. It works. I use it constantly. Somebody, by the way, that was a question off of Facebook. Everybody, you can go to FPN Outdoors Facebook page or fpnoutdoors.com, and you can talk to our guests in real time, ask questions, comment on the bald cam we got going up there.
Yep.
See my bald head.
I know. I almost had to put my sunglasses on.
It's shiny in here.
Today.
It's definitely shiny.
This thing's shiny.
And now I'm lassoing my foot on the wires down here. Things are getting crazy in here.
You wires and headphones, man.
Man,
I don't think he's made for this.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. All right. So, anyways, I was just thinking about that, and I've always had a good time, making some lures. I actually made some top water lures before. They worked okay. They weren't weighted all that great, but they worked all right. I was like, man, for a first try, it's not bad.
So who am I going to be against?
I'm
We'll
not
find
sure yet.
somebody.
We're gonna figure it out.
We'll figure somebody
Might
out.
even just have you challenge somebody. We'll see.
That'd be cool.
I gotta work it out. And but I want it to be a thing that we do like once a month or so.
Who was
and do a
that guy that
challenge.
had that TV show, the Boston guy, and he used to fish against people, the bass fishing guy?
Are you talking about Iconelli?
No, not Mike. He
Oh,
always
I
had
know.
cigars
I know
and
who
stuff,
you're talking
and he
about.
used to
He's
always-
really funny. Yeah.
Oh
I
yeah,
can't remember his name.
it's that guy.
Yeah.
That dude.
Yeah,
that guy.
Yeah.
Thank goodness we
And he
cleared
used
that
to
up.
challenge him,
Hey
you know,
Bobby,
Yeah.
do you we're moving up into the springtime here. You got any tournaments coming up?
Yes, we have the Florida Pro first round.
Whoop, whoop.
First round is in 2 weeks. So
Out there in Ruskin.
Ruskin, yep, good old Ruskin. From what Kent said, Ken Hitman, the owner of the Florida Pro, he says it's looking like it's gonna be around 80 boats.
Nice.
It is all artificial.
Yeah, I like the Florida Pro.
The cool thing about the Florida Pro is this year they added an amateur division, which is
Yes.
cheap. I mean, everybody's like, oh man.
I think they're doing a live bait thing for that too, right?
In the summertime,
Yeah,
they do,
yeah.
yeah.
At some point.
But they with the amateur side, it's good because people, they don't have the sponsors to help them with the money, the cost, the hotel, stuff like that. So what Kent did was he brought in an amateur division. That's $50.
Yeah, it kind of levels the playing field a little bit, gives you a chance.
They let us go.
Get
first.
out there and learn.
Yeah, they let us go first, and then the amateurs go after we release. But for $50, I mean, and there's good stuff. There's good payouts for it. So
Yeah.
if you guys are artificial guy and you want to fish, fish with us / against us, get into the Florida Pro Amateur Division. It's $50. I mean, you can't.
Yeah, you
It's
can
great
go
for
on with that.
kids.
And
If
it
you
is,
get your
it's-
kid involved in that
Yeah,
and
like
get
a
them
father
outside,
sure.
yeah, it's a
And
good
there,
thing.
and there's
You know,
some
and
kids that will whack it out there.
you get a father and his kid coming into that. It creates such a good bond between the two of them because I mean, hey, that's what my dad and I did when we first started, and I live 4 hours away from him, and every single time he comes over here, I look so forward to getting on the boat with him because, for the most part, we were on the boat almost every single weekend.
Yeah. And I think what it does too, some kids are really athletic and they like to get outside and do these types of things. Not all kids are that. But you get them out there and teach them this friendly competition. Get out there, and plus they're going to learn. I don't know if you probably notice this. When you go to these tournaments, these guys are so free with info. I mean, they're not going to give away their honey hole or anything, but they're definitely talking. You're going to learn a lot.
What you do, I mean, even if you're not fishing it and you want some tips, just come to the captain's meeting. You'll hear us talking, and just pick up a thing or two. I mean, go on YouTube, watch artificial videos of some of us, or don't be afraid to contact me. I mean, it's very easy. I mean, I talk to anybody. I get random stuff all the time, and I'll help you guys out. I mean,
Yeah, and that's what's nice about this fishing community is, even in the offshore world, the inshore world, everybody here, even all the pro anglers, they're very, good about, giving the guys some advice and everything else. So,
and I'm always known. I mean, I'm not saying I'm going to do it every time, but I run into people all the time. What are you using, this and that? And I do what I did for you guys. Here, use this.
Yeah.
This.
Well, while we're on the subject real quick, because we're running out of time, and I don't want to lose this here. Since you are talking about contacting you, what is the best way for people to follow you?
All right, you guys can go on my Facebook. You'll find Bobby Carroll. It'll be a picture of me and my dad's my profile right now. And then I also have Florida Fishing Experience. That is my charter page. You guys, there's 2 numbers you can contact me at. It's 727-945-1808, and that will be Armed Anglers Tackle Shop. They do all my booking and scheduling for my charters. Or you can call my personal cell phone at 727-271-3257.
Yeah, which, by the way, that shop is awesome up there, folks.
It is.
Paul went up there. I've only seen some pictures, but it sounds like it's pretty amazing. And if you are interested in getting out into this amateur tournament that Bobby was just talking about, go to the Florida Pro Redfish Series on Facebook or FloridaProRedfishSeries.com, and you can find all the information there. Kent puts on a heck of a tournament. It's really, really good.
It's $50, guys.
Everybody's friendly there. You're going to have a good time. Like we were saying, the amateur thing, you're going to learn a lot. And I
you'll
think
you'll be around some great guys. I mean, you'll see Captain Rick Murphy there fishing. I mean, there's some big names that we fish.
that was one of the coolest things for me when I first went to some of these tournaments I was competing in when I was with Ty and Brian. We come up and, everybody's getting ready to go out for the day, and I look over and there's Captain Rick and Jeff Page and all these guys.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, man, this is so cool, man. This is awesome.
But I mean, to me, man, they're just friends of mine and we talk. So.
All right, everybody, we're coming up at the end of the show here. This is FPN Outdoors. Make sure you go to FPNOutdoors.com or go to our Facebook page. Give us a like and subscribe. We'd love to hear from you. We'll be back next week from 8 till 9. I'm not sure who we got coming in next week, but
I don't know, but
we'll have a good show.
Thanks again to my beautiful wife who's letting me go fishing today.
Catch them up, guys. Catch them up.
Thanks, Bobby. I appreciate you
no
coming in,
problem,
brother.
guys.
We'll see you next week, folks.
See ya.